fashion, fun, felines. Join spa living and style expert Candy Holiday as she trips through her days while trying to flourish, look fab, and have a blast, even when life gets in her way. Let's make every day feel like a holiday with Candy. Candy, what are you doing?
So I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween. I don't know about you, but I always hate trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. There's so many costume possibilities. You know, if all else fails, you could totally do the spa thing thanks to Pharrell Williams and his Happy album. Well, I think it's actually called The Girl or something like that. I don't know if you've seen the cover, but it's a group, it's him, and then there's like 4 other people all just dressed in white robes and sunglasses. So how easy is that? I mean, that's like the perfect spa rocker Halloween costume. Just robes, your dark sunglasses, maybe something underneath just in case it's windy out, and you're all set. And then if you wanted to make it even better, you could like carry like a little boombox or something with your phone and be playing like Happy in the background. But anyway, I have got actually a little ghost story for you. We went to Los Alamos, California. I was looking for a place in Solvang because I've lived in California for a few years and keep hearing about Solvang, and it's really neat, and you've got to go check it out. And I was looking up B&Bs. It's very kind of Midwestern-y. Well, this place came up. It was called the Victorian Mansion, and it was a bed and breakfast, but it wasn't in Solvang. It was actually in a little town called Los Alamos. And Los Alamos is like, there's sort of like a little trifecta, like in that whole Santa Ynez area of little towns and escapes that you can get to from LA fairly easily. I thought this just looked so charming, really funky too at the same time. It had, on the website, it said that it had themed rooms. There's like a pirate room, a Roman room, a 50s room, an Egyptian room. And it sounds kind of like Vegas-y, cheesy, and I was kind of like, I don't know, but you always want to try something different. And the more I looked up about this Los Alamos place, it looked so just quaint, almost like an old Western kind of town. There are some cool things to do. That means, that in Santa Ynez, there's loads of wine tasting rooms, but I don't drink a ton. I'm a lightweight. And also, I just wanted to go somewhere I always like to try to find new places. I mean, Solvang's awesome. There's tons of places there. But this Los Alamos and this Victorian Mansion just sounded perfect. And not only that, because there's not really a lot of spas up that way. They do like a whole spa package where when you arrive, or you can do it, schedule it for any time really, but you can schedule like a couples massage. They'll bring rose petals to your room. They have in every room, they have these like super deep hot tub baths. And the whole thing just sounded great. So it's a place without a spa, but you can still create that kind of spa experience. And so I was just super excited. And not only that, when I looked it up, you know how when you find a really cool place and then it's all booked up, it's just like the worst, right? It's such a letdown. Well, there were only 2 rooms. Well, there was basically 1 room available for each night that we wanted to stay. And that meant that we got to experience 2 different rooms. One was the Roman room and one was the pirate room. And it was something else that was really cool about the whole experience. Like, they were just so welcoming. The owner, Rod, actually, I had sent him an email just to see if it was okay if we did, because usually they have a 2-night room minimum. And he called me himself the next morning, and he wasn't even in town. He was like in the Bahamas or somewhere. We drove there. We went for a long weekend. It was about 2.5 hours, just a gorgeous drive, especially once you get like past, even though it's pretty up to Santa Barbara and everything, once you get past Santa Barbara and you're on the back kind of off the main freeway, it's windy, it's hilly, green. It reminds me like of Tuscany. There's like this beautiful lake called Lake Cachuma that you drive past, and lots of it was just incredible, really gorgeous. It'd be really pretty to bike around there too. The funny thing was when we pulled into the town, it looked like a ghost town. Not that I had any clue that I was going to have like sort of a supernatural experience while I was there, but when you drove in, because basically it's like, when you get off the freeway onto an exit and you just drive past like, I don't know, a few little buildings, and then it just turns into like country roads. And we literally drove right through it, right past the hotel, right through everything. And we were like, did we miss it? So we turned around, went back, and there it was. And it was literally like, 3 restaurants, the hotel. There's also another hotel there, the Union Street Hotel. And everything is really kind of that clapboard, like old frontier, kind of Western and vibe. And then we were just thinking, oh my gosh, my boyfriend and I were just like, oh no, what is this place? So we were really skeptical. And I was thinking, oh my God, what have I gotten us into? Another one of my bright ideas. The Victorian Mansion is definitely Victorian. And it's Victorian in that old 1800s style that just fits right in with the kind of saloony feel and atmosphere in the rest of the town. And I actually hadn't told my boyfriend that I had scheduled these massages. I'm trying to kind of hurry the tour, which is kind of a shame because it's really cool when you arrive there at the Vic. Your innkeeper takes you to your room, and then because it's not only themed, but it's just so cleverly done. The bathroom's hidden, and like in the Roman room, it's behind a bookcase. It's all about secret doors. I've got a little video I'll put up so you can check it out. You can see it for yourself how cool it is. And she took us into the Roman room, and it was so cool. It was really, there was like a big giant tub. The tub was so deep that you could literally stand up in it, and it was like almost chest high. That's how deep it was. So really fun bath time. I was really looking forward to bath time because I love baths anyway. It was just so cool. The bed was a chariot. So a chariot. And it's not just like a flimsy kind of cheesy. Like it could have been cheesy, really, but it was a very luxurious themed experience because the quality of everything was so wonderful. Like in the bathroom, the tiles had these murals painted on them of gladiators. And then the bed, the chariot bed was, it was solid. I think that she told us it weighed like 1,000 pounds. It was something crazy, like 1,000 pounds. And the story behind the Vic is really neat too, because it was somebody, way back in the 1800s who was a worker who built it as like housing for the workers in on the farms and the fields. Dude bought it and decided that he wanted to have a themed hotel, and he actually started building the hotel. He's the one that brought in all these incredible pieces of decor and object, and it was sold to another woman who owned the other hotel, the Union Street Hotel. She bought it, and this incredible guy, Rod, saved the hotel. He had stayed there and had loved it, and he heard about that it was going to go into foreclosure, become apartments, had it restored, and now it's this really cool destination, and it gets booked weeks and weeks in advance. But anyway, back to our visit. The innkeeper's giving us our guided tour, showing us that it's really so crazy. It's so detailed as to even the CDs and DVDs like in the room match the theme of the room. So there was like Ben-Hur as one of the DVDs you could watch. It had all this different Roman themed music. Really, really fun. But my whole time in my mind, I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, the massage people are going to be here any minute. We have to get ready. And then the innkeeper just lets the cat out of the bag and says, oh, I guess I better let you all go and get ready because the massage therapist will be here soon. My boyfriend was really excited about that. I was happy, thank goodness, because sometimes he's not always on board with all my crazy schemes. And I just thought after that long drive, you never know how LA traffic's going to be. It would just be the perfect way to kind of start with a whole relaxed vibe to the weekend. And I was so right. And the massage therapist, they set up their tables in the room, put candles out, and then we changed into our robes. And the girls just did a fantastic job. You know, sometimes when you get a massage that's not from like your regular person, it's not always as good, but this was incredible. The gal I had was like, she did definitely some kind of Thai things. And one of the things that my gal did that was fantastic was like my hands. She did these really cool hand massage and wrist massage, which I had never felt anything like it. She kind of went in between each finger where the webbing is and like did this crazy massage in the webbing. And, you know, my fingers and hands are always crazy sore from being on the computer and typing, and as well as my upper back and neck. And she could just pick out my trouble spots, and she just went right to it. So she used a lot of like acupuncture kind of stuff. And she also did this thing where she kind of held my feet. This sounds really kind of funky, but she held my feet and then kind of like was shaking me. Like, so my whole body was kind of shaking. And she also did, like, she went up my whole body and kind of just like put her hands on each side of me and just kind of wiggled me back and forth, like just like jello, just, you know, just kind of like I was shimmying almost. So we went to dinner, came back, we got in our robes, had a bath, just a really luxurious evening, had some of the wine. They have like regional bottles of wine in all the rooms, and we were just totally chilled. Well, we decided to go to bed, and we climb up into the chariot, and the sheets, this is what keeps it from being cheesy, the sheets were fantastic. They were probably 300, 400 thread count, really soft and crispy. And the bed, oh my God, I don't know what kind of mattress they have on that thing, but it was just one of those ones where you climb up and you just, you know, sink into it, but not too far. So we lay down, we're just kind of looking at our phones and stuff before we go to sleep. And all of a sudden, the bed like shakes. Now, mind you, this is like 300, 400 pound bed. I mean, it's like solid, heavy wood. It's not like some cheesy bed that's really lightweight that could shake it, like if a train went by or something. But it just like shook, like almost like if you went to like a no-tell motel and put coins in the in one of those beds and had a vibrating bed. It was like that. And I look at Kevin. I'm like, oh my God, did you feel that? And he's like, yes. And we're thinking, well, maybe there's a train, you know, or something. And then we kept thinking, no. Both kind of thought, well, maybe it's just our imagination. So I lay back down, and all of a sudden the bed starts shaking again. Like really, I mean, it was probably, I don't know how many seconds, but it definitely was probably 10 seconds, which seems like a lifetime when there's something happening and you don't know what it is. And it was just shaking and vibrating. And I'm like, oh my God. So I immediately got my phone and I'm looking to see, is there an earthquake? Because in California, that's the first thing you think, right? I looked at my phone. Is there an earthquake? No. No earthquakes. I looked up, you know, all the apps, looked online, looked on Twitter. I don't know. I was just really freaked out. We were actually both so kind of freaked out. We put our robes on and we went out in the hallway. We were looking around. We thought, you know, what is going on? You know, we looked under the bed. We were like, what is happening? Long story short, we couldn't figure out what had happened. Today, you know, I was thinking about it and I thought, well, I wonder if it's haunted. Like, I'm not really a big believer in supernatural things. I don't know. I just thought I'll just look it up. So I looked up the hotel or the inn and haunted, and there was a reporter in Chicago who had done a story on it and said she had experienced some weird things in her room, and it was the Roman room. So get that. What I make of it, what was really funny was that I was thinking, you know, that massage therapist did that crazy, you know, vibrating thing to me. And as she was doing it, I was telling her how great that felt and that I'd never had anyone just kind of shake loose my stress like that. So my take on the whole thing is that maybe this ghost saw that, if there is a ghost or whatever happened, and decided to mimic it. Whatever happened, it was really, it wasn't scary. It was just freaky because we couldn't figure out what it was. I would say that's probably one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me. And I would totally go back to the Victorian Mansion for sure. I mean, we're looking forward to going back and trying out some of the other rooms, the 50s rooms, and definitely doing the whole spa package with the massage and the candles and the rose petals and things. And all I can say about this visit was, leave it to me to go to a spa and be massaged by a ghost. That's all I'm saying. And if you guys have any ideas about it, what you think, other than you think I might be crazy, I don't know, maybe I spot too much, leave me some notes in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if you've ever had any kind of unexplainable experience when you traveled. I would love to hear about it. And as for the rest of our trip to Los Alamos, it's a great place. It really is like a little getaway sanctuary. And we ended up really loving that it was really tiny and out of the way. We had some really fun. We even had a brush with a celebrity there, Emilio Estevez, who owns Bobby's Beer Emporium. He actually served us himself, which was really kind of cool. And because the whole area is so unique, I'll be doing one of our Spa Detour episodes just on the Los Alamos, Los Olivos, Solvang, Santa Ynez kind of, Wine Valley triangle, because it's really, there are other kind of spa-like fitness, health-oriented experiences that you can have there. And it'd be fun to it's really fun to combine all that with wherever you decide to stay, to kind of have your own little spa getaway when you're up there, in addition to the wine tasting, of course. But that's it for this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in, as always. Looking forward to hearing about everybody's plans for Thanksgiving, and I'll talk with y'all later.
Don't forget, you can shop the show and get the 411 on this episode at lifesaholiday.com. That's HOLLADAY.com. Meet Candy on Candy Holiday YouTube channel for more adventures. See you next holiday.